What's up, guys? And welcome to show number 66. As always, thank you so much for rocking with me these first 65 shows. By now, you know where to find me. If you go to SoundCloud, Stitcher, as well as iTunes, search for Trill Withers, the show will come up. Do me a favor, go ahead and subscribe there so that the show will come to you every week. As you know, I've got the website set up now. That's lookingupfromthefloor.wordpress.com. Again, lookingupfromthefloor.wordpress.com. And I've got the email address as well for any kind of questions, comments, anything you want to shoot me. That's trillwitherspodcast@gmail.com. Again, trillwitherspodcast@gmail.com. First things first, I got to give a shout out to my man at Tron_Doe, DOE, on Twitter for hooking me up with the intro today. It's the Covering the Money Future, of course. He remixed it, sent it to me, and I was fucking with it, so I had to use it today for the intro. So shout out to my man at Tron_Doe on Twitter. All right, I'm not going to lie to you. I had like a whole show ready to give you, and then Kanye West started tweeting. Kanye West started tweeting about Wiz Khalifa, as you know, I'm sure. So I literally had to stop what I was doing, which was recording the show, and tune into this. And I am glad that I did. I'm glad that I did. I'm gonna give a brief. Nah, we're not gonna do a brief. We're gonna do a full rundown. Like this is some wild shit that I'm still processing as I'm talking right now. So we're gonna run all the way through this shit. Okay, so what happened last night? As we know, Kanye West tweeted out he's changing the name of his upcoming album. It was Swish. He's changed it now to Waves. Kanye West changed the name of his album to Waves. So last night, Wiz Khalifa sent out a series of tweets, which I'm pulling up now to read to you. One is, please don't take the wave. Max B is the wavy one. He created the wave. There is no wave without him. He said he's a wavy baby for sure. He's not having it. He's the reason I sing all my songs. That's the wave. If there's nothing with that sound, then it's not wavy. Then he posted a couple of songs, talking about wavy. And just so you know what true waves are, some Max B songs. Okay, so this morning, Wiz tweets, hit this KK and become yourself. Now, if you're any kind of Wiz Khalifa fan, he's been talking about KK forever. KK is a strand of weed. I believe it's his personal strand of weed. So anytime he talks about, hitting KK or smoking KK, he's talking about his strand of weed. Now, Kanye West, who I'd imagine is not familiar with that, logged on today about 45 minutes ago, about 2 o'clock p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and went on an epic run of tweets, which I'm about to read to you in its entirety. Here we go. Oh, niggas must think I'm not petty because I'm the best that's ever made music. Like, oh, that's Ye, and I can put his wife's initial on my Twitter, at Wiz Khalifa. Bro, first of all, you stole your whole shit from Cudi. Second, your first single was corny as fuck, and most thereafter. Work hard, play hard, with an emoji of Kim Kardashian West crying. You have distracted from my creative process. I went to looking at your Twitter and you were wearing cool pants. I screen grabbed those pants and sent it to my style team. Hashtag Wiz wears cool pants. Third, no one I know has ever listened to one of your albums all the way through. Fourth, you let a stripper trap you. Fifth, I know you mad every time you look at your child that this girl got you for 18 years. Sixth, don't ever come out the side of your neck at me. Seventh, I am your OG, and I will be respected as such. Eighth, I made it so we could wear tight jeans. Ninth, me and Cudi created this shit. 10th, don't you ever in your fucking life speak sideways about a nigga that's fighting for us. I do this for all of us. 11, I showed you respect as a man when I met you. 12th, you wouldn't have a child if it wasn't for me. 13th, you own waves, I own your child. 14th, niggas call creativity. You should try it someday. Excuse me, the hashtag was you should try it someday. I want to get that very clear. 15th, nigga, I tried to call you and you changed your number. 16th, don't even hint at mentioning me, my family, or my wife. I am your OG. 17th, I think you dress cool. I wish I was skinny and tall. Maybe I couldn't be skinny and tall, but I'll settle for being the greatest artist of all time as consolation. Don't ever, ever, ever come out the side of your motherfucking neck, bro, or bruh, or however you say it, Mr. Waves. I'm Ye, and I ain't got to say it the right way. I'm Ye, I'm Ye, I'm Ye, I'm Ye, I'm Ye, I'm Ye, I'm Ye. All these verbatim. Thank you for the extra promotion. Hashtag Waves available February 11th. Now, that was a series of about, 20 plus tweets. Like there were 17 points and a couple others, so we'll call it 20, 25 tweets. To Wiz's credit, at this point, he's only responded with 2 tweets. To the one that Kanye said about Wiz putting his wife's initial on Twitter, Wiz responded, "KK is weed, fool. This is reasons why you're not wavy. Go back to Swish." His next tweet was, "I've been smashed. The idea of that album even existing. I got joints to roll at Kanye West." And that was the end of it on Wiz's behalf. He hasn't tweeted in about 40 minutes. So, I mean, you got to figure there's going to be a response to a lot of that stuff. But Wiz's first response was pretty much perfect. Pretty much perfect. Like, it was basically pointing out how old Kanye is. Wiz has talked about KK often, never in the terms of it being Kim Kardashian. Again, it's his personal strain of weed. And he's basically saying this is exactly why you're not wavy. This is proving my point exactly, you old man. What I likened it to is, if you remember, when Michael Jordan was at that, it's like an elementary or middle school, talking to some kids. And one of the kids stood up and gave him the, "What are those?" And Jordan, who's like 50 and has no idea what that means, looked down and was like sneakers? They're good for my arches. I have bad feet, Junior. You understand? And it just pointed out how old Michael Jordan was. And that's exactly what Wiz did. Like, he really doesn't even need to tweet anymore. Like, he told, "Go back to Swish, old man. Like, this is exactly why you're not wavy," which is the whole point I was proving last night. And Kanye pretty much walked right into that. So it's pretty much, yeah, like take your old ass back to sleep, nigga. Like, anybody talking to you. But Kanye got very, very, very disrespectful. Very disrespectful in the matter of his rant. Like, if you want to talk about his music, say his music's whack, his singles are whack, nobody listened to his album, that's fine. That's whatever. But he got into, "You let a stripper trap you. I know you mad every time you look at your child. This girl got you for 18 years. I own your child." Like, that's mad disrespectful. Like Wiz got to send like Sledgren or Chevy Woods or somebody to mask up, and like Trigger Play got to ensue. You say what you want about me and my music or whatever. You leave my baby boy out of this. You let a stripper trap you. I didn't think that was true, and I looked it up, not to go, well, actually, but kind of. Actually, they were together for like 2 years before they got married and that baby was born. So it wasn't even a trap. So that's not fair. And even if it was, Amber Rose has nothing to do with this beef. And Amber Rose and Wiz Khalifa shot has absolutely nothing to do with this beef. So that's very, very whack of Kanye to even bring this up. Like, extremely whack. Extremely, I can't even call it petty. Like, that's not even petty. That's just whack. That's just whack shit. And he went on to say, I'm trying to find it. Yeah, don't even hint at mentioning me or my family or my wife. And that's exactly what Kanye did. He mentioned, Amber Rose, his ex-wife, without saying her name, and mentioned her child. So Kanye is like, I don't know, he's to that level of delusion of like, I can do it, but you can't do it. Or he seemed like the type, like, if you punch him in the face, like, he's just stunned. Like what? You punched me in the face? I can't believe you would punch me in the face. And while he's thinking that, you punched him in the stomach. Like, he's still getting his ass whooped. But that just, it doesn't register to him. So I would imagine that Wiz will have some kind of response for this. I'm not sure if it will be on Twitter or through Trigger Play, because again, those are very, very serious things to say. And even in bringing Amber Rose into it, when again she had nothing to do with it, like, Kanye's talking like he wasn't on the red carpet holding Amber Rose's hand and grabbing her ass and licking her head in these photo shoots and stuff. Like, she wasn't just some one nighter to him. Like, he made an album about her. So I don't know if that's still that kind of hurt leaking out, but whatever it is very whack for him to bring that up, in his beef with Wiz Khalifa. And the compliments afterward were very strange, but also very funny. Like, Kanye basically, like, one of the last tweets in the rant was like, "Damn, I wish I was skinny and tall." So you wish you were skinny and tall, and you still feel some kind of way about Amber Rose? Is that what this is about? And those cool pants? That's what it's about, Wiz wears cool pants? So I don't know. All right, and as I talk, I keep checking the timeline every once in a while to see if Kanye West is tweeting anything new, and he has. There are 4 new tweets now, and I will read them to you in their entirety. What's sad is I love Wiz, and I love all my brothers and all people. I love the world, bottom line, and all I want is peace and positive energy. This album is actually a gospel album. Good energy, positive energy. So it's very clear that this nigga Kanye West is out of his fucking mind. I don't think that's a surprise to anyone, but to just go through that kind of rant. And surely there had to be, like, all the people, he keeps posting like the sheet of paper and everybody signs their name. Like I saw like ASAP's name on there, Swizz Beatz' name was there, Kim Kardashian, Kylie, whatever. I guess you sign the paper when you come through to work on the album. All those people around him, and not one of them was like, "Hey, bro, let me see your phone right quick," and then just cut the shit off or throw it in the toilet or something. Like not one person was willing to be a friend to Kanye West at a time like this and stop him. As soon as he tweeted that you let a stripper trap you, somebody should have been on top of that. Somebody should have been on, like, you got to tap, like Kanye's like 5'8", like just like physically take the phone out of his hand, put your hand on his forehead and just hold it up above his head. He's not that tall. He's not going to, jump and get it. Now he could, have you thrown out and killed afterwards, but that's a risk you got to take. You're looking out for his best interest. So this is all very, very strange to me. And of course, as I'm looking at this, I put it out that I am recording right now. I'd ask if you had any questions. So I'm going to go through those. The questions that I received, someone said, how do you feel about coming at someone with a laid out set of numbered points? I kind of like the efficiency. Now, the efficiency was kind of nice. It was numbered, people like list, and he numbered it 1 through 17. But I think it tells us a bigger thing, like in this situation and in life. Like, you get to see that all it takes is a misunderstanding to see how people really feel about you. That's all it takes. It happened in this scenario. It's happened to me in my life. I'm sure it's happened to you in your life. Wiz tweeted the KK about the weed. Kanye took it as KK, Kim Kardashian. And now you see how Kanye's really felt about Wiz, all this time, for 5-6 years, however long it's been. All it takes is a misunderstanding, for you to find out how somebody really feels about you. So, while the efficiency was nice, Kanye's, his PER, probably 27, 28, very high, amongst the league leaders. But it's just kind of whack that he's felt this way all along, and he only put it out there after a perceived slight that wasn't even a slight. So yeah, again, all it takes is a misunderstanding for people to show you how they really feel about you. Next question is, at what point did you think Kanye was drunk and or high during the rant? That's the thing about Kanye West. I don't feel like he's either. I feel like this is a very, very sober Kanye West. I feel like this is just him. Like the jumping all over the place, from the criticisms of Wiz to the compliments of Wiz. Also, I don't know if, I can't be sure, but during those 20, 25 tweets, I think everything was spelled correctly. If he was drunk and or high, some of that shit would have been misspelled. There might have been some wrong your, there, or whatever shit. But, I mean, that could just be him sober. People fuck that up sober all the time. So I really don't think Kanye was drunk or high during this. And he's way too big to be, like, this is way too personal for him to ever claim he was hacked. Next question is it possible for anyone to have actually won this? Wiz got dragged mercilessly, but Ye Strays talked about Wiz's kid. I would say Wiz won. If there was a winner, so to say, if there was a winner in this shit, I would say Wiz won. Because in all of Kanye's rants, we know the number one rule in Twitter is never react. Kanye reacted. And Wiz hit him with a quick 2 tweets and called it a day. Now, if something comes after this, we may have to, go back to this and go back over it. But as of right now, I would say Wiz won, because Wiz stuck to the facts. Kanye getting emotional proved Wiz's point, and then Kanye had to bring, third party, Amber Rose and this child into this when they had nothing to do with it. That's, he's reacting. Kanye didn't have a leg to stand on, so he was reaching for anything, and he got caught up in his feelings, and he reacted horribly. So I would say if there was a winner, I would say it was Wiz here. All right, the next question I got was, did Ye just make being mad online cool? And the answer to that is no. The answer to that is a resounding no. And it's more so the way he handled his reaction. Like, we know reactions are not the wave. In Twitter or in real life, like, you have to react without giving a reaction, if that makes sense. Like, Wiz reacted. He added Kanye, addressed what he said, but he didn't get upset. He reacted without giving a reaction. Kanye got mad online and gave a reaction over a course of 25 tweets. And like, I keep saying it because that's how whack the shit is. Brought up his child and his ex-wife to try to further his point. So no, Kanye West did not make being mad online cool. I don't know if there is anybody that can make being mad online cool. All right. Having said that, I'm going to try to get back to the show that I originally had planned for you. I will be keeping an eye on this, so if more comes in, I may cut back to it, like, breaking news, Tyrone Koppel shit. But as of now, I do want to talk about the upcoming Super Bowl. Now, we've got a whole nother week, so I'll save my predictions. Those will come on next week's show. Today, I'm just going to talk, a bit about the conference championships. First with Denver and New England. And okay, so Denver, New England, we saw what the Broncos had to do to win that game. Like, they rushed for 100 yards. Wasn't great yard per carry average, but 100 yards is 100 yards. They protected the ball. They did have the one turnover on the backwards pass, but no picks from Peyton, no fumbles from the running game, no fumbles from Peyton, and their defense hit Tom Brady 20 times, and it still should have went to overtime. That game still should have went to overtime. Rob Gronkowski was doing Rob Gronkowski things all afternoon, especially on that last drive. And I said it at the time, I say it now, I throw it to him no matter the situation. Now, it turns out on that 2-point conversion, he was open. But even if he wasn't, I think he's earned that. Like, if we're tying this game or we're losing this game, it is going to be based on Tom Brady throwing to Rob Gronkowski. It's what got us to this point, especially on that last drive when Gronk went crazy. Even for him, really. Like, on 4th and 10, he had that 40-yard catch, which was insane. On 4th and 4, down by the goal line, he split the double team and scored the touchdown. To bring them within 2. So I think you have to go to them there. And they didn't, and they lost because of it. Von Miller played out of his mind, and, like, Marcus Cannon, who is the Patriots tackle, like, he's got to be having nightmares. Like, I don't know how he didn't get cut on the spot. And, it was kind of his fault because you can't get beat like that, but it kind of wasn't his fault. Like, I'm amazed Belichick didn't give him more help there, like any kind of help. And I understand needing to give Brady some weapons or whatever, but like, what do the weapons matter? If he's getting hit every time he drops back, he got hit he got hit 20 times, 7 of which were by DeMarcus Ware. So I don't really feel bad for the Patriots, at all. But damn, like, I still imagine that this one would hurt, especially when Peyton was throwing ducks for like the last, 2.5, maybe 3/4 of the game. Outside of those couple touchdown throws to Owen Daniels, he threw a lot of ducks out there. So, the Patriots are still in good shape, of course. Brady's got a couple more years before he'll need HGH or whatever shipped to his home, under his wife's name. But this is probably it for Peyton. So that's cool. That's cool. I'm also happy for Demaryius Thomas. He is a 478 representative. He's from Lawrence County, which is not too far from Macon. So I like to see him do well. I'm happy for Danny Trevathan, who starts at linebacker for the Broncos, was at Kentucky while I was there. And we actually stayed in the same dorm during summer school. It was he, myself, Larry Warford plays for the Lions now. And, now they're playing in the NFL. One was about to play for the Super Bowl. And I ate beans from a can for breakfast, like over an open fire, like John Wayne or some shit. So I think we're all suffering from success. I think we all turned out to be on the same, level here. We're all suffering from success. All right. And on the flip side, in the NFC, we had the Panthers beating the Cardinals to send the Panthers and our beloved Cam X to the Super Bowl. We are one game away from Cam X hoisting the Lombardi Trophy. And they beat the shit out of the Cardinals. Like, my goodness. Now, since the playoffs started, I pointed out how hesitant I was of putting the Cardinals into the Super Bowl. As I had seen them. Like, this wasn't me straw manning. This wasn't me making things up. I had seen many, many people just, put the Cardinals right into the Super Bowl. And I said I was hesitant because I had yet to see Carson Palmer win a playoff game. And I was called a hater for this. I was called, bitter for this because Palmer used to play for the Bengals. Now, I've been a Jaguars fan for ages, so I don't know what, his years with the Bengals had to do with me. But that wasn't me hating. That wasn't me being bitter. It was me observing. I've watched enough Carson Palmer in big games to know that he gets shaky. You add in the bum finger on his throwing hand, which I do think was bothering him, to be fair. You add in that cold weather. You add in that Panthers defense. You add in that Carolina crowd. And that is how 6 turnovers happen. That's how it happens. And he got sacked 3 times, hit 6 times. So, they had him under pressure. But we just saw Tom Brady get hit 20 times. Palmer got hit 6 times. So he was under pressure, but he wasn't under 6 turnovers pressure. So you can blame whatever. I just know that if you trusted Carson Palmer on the road in a big game like that, you deserve to lose whatever money you lost. And I don't feel bad for you. Like, there was that stupid Patrick Peterson fumble, and you're just not turning the ball over 7 times on the road and winning. And Cam had a bad pick of his own, and it didn't even matter because Palmer gave it right back. Like either on the next play or 2 plays right after that Patrick Peterson interception. Palmer threw another interception right in the end zone. So the Panthers ran the ball well. Their defensive special teams gave them great field position, and Cam was Cam. I really wanted to see them score 56 points in honor of Future being there in attendance. And that picture of he, Young Jeezy, and Future right before the game, it really almost brought me to tears, man. Like we just need one more. We need one more victory, Cam X. So Super Bowl predictions coming next week. Also, something I had been thinking about, and someone had mentioned it to me. Thinking about doing BQBX shirts. So if you'd be interested in one, just let me know. You can hit me on Twitter, comment on the website, email me, whatever. Just let me know if you'd be interested in one. Let me know what you'd like to see on it, and let me know what you'd pay for one. I'm just kicking around some ideas, no promises, but I am gauging some interest for it. All right, one thing I will talk about briefly before we get into some questions. I feel like I got to mention this Earth is Flat business. So as you know, rapper B.O.B. recently went on it wasn't even a rant. What Kanye just did was a rant. B.O.B. was on this shit for like 2 days straight. And sidebar, what I hate about like whack rappers is like they're quick to say where they're from. Like they're quick to say that Sci-Hi or B.O.B. Like it's always Atlanta rapper B.O.B. or Atlanta rapper Sci-Hi. We don't really fuck with them like that. That's just my little sidebar. But B.O.B., was talking about the Earth is flat. He dropped a song about the Earth being flat. And he referenced Hitler and Stalin in said song. So I'm trying to figure out where the train went off the tracks for B.O.B. And I saw that he dropped out of high school in 9th grade. 9th grade. And in Georgia, it may be statewide, but I believe in Georgia you have to be 16 to drop out. So there's a decent chance he was 16 in the 9th grade. And he is the man that's trying to teach us about the world as we know it. And to make this completely clear, there's not a single thing wrong with dropping out. I just know not to listen to your physics takes. You're just not going to give me your lessons. And there's a lot of people saying, well, you learned the earth was round before 9th grade. No, we learned that the earth was round before 9th grade. You got to think about the grade level of someone who dropped out in the 9th grade. That's a long-term decision. He wasn't picking out his AP classes for the semester and just decided to drop out. So just keep that in mind. Next time somebody famous says something stupid, just remember that a lot of these people never saw 11th grade. As a fake conspiracy theorist and a documentary lover, more than anything, I watched an Earth is Flat documentary. And I've watched, documentaries way wilder than this. So this is light work. And like, if you needed any more proof that Twitter's the best shit ever, actually, this might have been the best week on Twitter ever. Like, we just got Kanye and Wiz. We get B.O.B. and Neil deGrasse Tyson arguing, and Neil deGrasse's nephew dropping some low-key ether over the back-to-back beat and like the most perfect King's English diction that I've ever heard in my life. And most importantly, the best thing that happened on Twitter this week. So I'm watching one of the Earth is Flat documentaries. I'm watching one, and I live tweeted it, of course. Along the way, it got retweeted somehow and on the timeline of Netta. Netta is one of the more prominent figures in the Black Lives Matter movement. She was just on the cover of Essence magazine. She's someone I look up to, and she joined in. So it's like 3:30 in the morning, and me and Netta are talking about an Earth is Flat documentary we're watching. So this is example, 452,756 that Twitter is the best thing ever. So about the documentary, I'm not going to spoil it, but it's interesting to say the least. Like, he said a couple things that at least make you want to ask more questions, which is probably your intent. He says a couple things that are blatantly false, and a couple other things that could probably proven false, with a quick Google search. But who has the time? Who has the time, really? Not me. That's who. Like, if he would have just started with just a black screen and a voice over it saying, "When has a group of white people ever told you the truth?" and then showed the NASA logo, I probably would have been on board. So it's 2 documentaries. I would say they're worth a watch. They're interesting, if nothing else. They're about 35 minutes apiece, so not very long. Get your drug of choice and settle in. And it's no way you can watch this stuff sober. Like, in the second one, he dropped some shit about the Challenger that still has me shaken up. So I definitely recommend you, grabbing your drug of choice and checking it out. I'll drop a link to those on the site. All right, now to get into a couple of questions before we get out of here. The very first question is going on the flat earth theory. All this flat talk has me wondering, Theory is a contemplative and rational type of abstract or generalizing thinking, or the results of such thinking. Conspiracy is a secret plan by a group to do something unlawful or harmful. What is it about these two words being put together that makes people believe it is inherently false? Everything about a conspiracy theory holds true to the definitions except people's perception of it. Why is it the first reaction to dismiss a potential conspiracy? Scientific theories are heavily weighted as credible, and then they are supported or disproven with evidence, whether it be through experiments or observations. Why are conspiracy theories supposedly done and dismissible upon hearing them? I think that a lot of the reaction to just the words conspiracy theory is the messenger. Now, of course, there's negative connotation with those words, but I think a lot of it is the messenger. Like, before they even tell you what they believe, people are ready to shoot the messenger. And as the late, great Patrice O'Neal would call it, it's the marbles in the ass theory. And the marbles in the ass theory is this. Someone could tell you that 2 + 2 = 4, and they'd be right. And then they could put marbles up their ass. And when you think of that person, you're not going to think of 2 + 2 = 4. You're going to think of them putting marbles in their ass. Now, them putting marbles in their ass doesn't discredit 2 + 2 = 4. But again, when you think of them, the first thing you think of is the marbles. So think of any conspiracy guy you know, the conspiracy nigga at your job or the barbershop or wherever. When you think of him, you first think that nigga's crazy. And that doesn't mean what he's saying is crazy. You know, he might be saying some facts, but he's got marbles in his ass. That's the genius of the theory. So I think a lot of the reaction to conspiracy theory is the messenger, which is probably unfair because we've learned many times, don't shoot the messenger. Hear the message, don't shoot the messenger. But that's the way it goes. That is the game. And as we know, the game is the game. Right. The next question I got is, being a sports fan worth it? I would say no. Like, sometimes you get born into a good situation. Like Boston. The Boston, New England area is on a great run since, I think, 2001, where all 4 of their major sports teams have won at least one title. And a lot of them have won multiple. So if you're about 15, then I'll tell you about 15, you get to experience the Patriots, Celtics, Red Sox, and the Bruins success, as you're coming into adulthood, then you in there. Like, using myself as an example, I was born into Kentucky fandom. And in my lifetime, we've won 3 titles. And we're building an all-star team in the NBA. So, but I feel like that's the exception and not the rule. Like, for each of those 3 titles, there is a heartbreaking loss, multiple losses to go with it. And like, I think we're all enjoying this Cam season, whether you're a Panthers fan or not. So why can't it be like that all the time? Somebody asked if I'm a Panthers fan. I'm not, but I'm going to be extremely happy if they beat the Broncos like I was a Panthers fan. So I would say the negatives outweigh the positives considerably at being a sports fan. It's basically like if you play the lottery. If you play the lottery every single day, sometimes you win. Somebody's got to win, But when you don't really think about the $5 a day that you spent every single day for 30 years. You don't think about that. You just think about, if you win. And some people do win. Again, somebody's got to win. But there are people that have played the lottery every single day for the past 30 years and have lost thousands, probably close to tens of thousands of dollars on the lottery. So that is what being a sports fan is. When your number comes up, it's worth it. But it is more often than not that your number is not drawn. And it's more often than not that you get 4 of the lottery numbers correct and miss on the last one. So you get a little something. You could say your team went to a Final Four, but that means nothing because you didn't get the Powerball. You didn't hit the jackpot. So I would say no. Being a sports fan is not worth it. All right, and the last question for the day is, the jig is up on everyone saying Cam Newton is BQBX. Let me get this out of the way. I'm a Seahawks fan all my life. I was hesitant of Russell starting that first year and the first 3 games of the season. My suspicions weren't quelled, but goddammit, Russell Wilson is the better quarterback. Anyways, how is this even a debate? We can throw out the tired-ass argument that Wilson has benefited from having an elite defense. Carolina's isn't no slouch. And then he posts, the career numbers for Russ and Cam and says, you would pick Russ if given the option. How can we just ignore these stats? Sure, Cam may be more attention-focused, and he hypes up the crowd, and he will be the MVP this season. But don't forget, in head-to-head matchups, Russ is 4-2 versus Carolina. And head-to-head matchup used to mean something. Plus, he has better stats. Cam is cool, and he will be MVP, but Wilson is the better quarterback, hands down. And anyone else who says otherwise is just trash, like French fries. If Cam is truly BQBX, then you have to change it to say stats don't matter. Because if stats do matter, Russ is clearly the superior player. Okay. First things first, the jig is up on this email right then and there when you say you're a Seahawks fan all your life. That's when the jig was up on the email. The jig was also up when you said you were hesitant of Russell Wilson starting that first year because if I'm not mistaken, the options were Russ, Matt Flynn, or Tavares Jackson. So I'm not sure what there is to be unsure about. I said, how's this even really a debate? I agree. Who said it was a debate? I don't know who debated that. He said that, Carolina's defense isn't a slouch, which is a fact, but the Seahawks defense has led the league in points allowed for 4 straight years. Those are historically great numbers. So there's a difference between the Panthers defense being great and the Seahawks defense being historically great. But okay, you get past that. This email was built on shaky ground because they're both BQBX. Again, both jerseys are already in the rafters, so it's not an either or situation. Both of these guys are BQBX. Second, these stats have never mattered. Stats have never mattered. When talking about BQBX at any time, I've said you had to be a franchise talent, which both these guys are, and I said you had to do things your way and not care about what others have to say about it, which they both do. I can't recall a time I ever said stats were in the mix, so I don't know where that came into play. And I've been a fan of Russell Wilson's game since North Carolina State, early on. So you won't get me to badmouth him. He's a fantastic player. He's a fantastic quarterback. And over the course of their career, he has shown to be more accurate than Cam. And I'd give him decision making. Over the course of their career, he's proven to be a better decision maker than Cam. Cam is shown to have a bigger arm, and I think he's more of a threat making plays running. Like Russ is a great runner, and he excels at extending plays. Cam makes plays, like be it getting the first down, on 3rd and short, or rushing for a touchdown, and the numbers show it. Within those numbers, you didn't put the rushing touchdown numbers in there because Cam has had 2 double-digit rushing touchdown seasons in his career, and Russell has 12 rushing touchdowns total. So while neither really has great options on offense, I would say, I think Russ has played with better options over the course of his career. And he's thrown the ball a lot less than Cam, over the course of their career, which has to factor, into his lead into efficiency numbers. And again, Russ is great. He had a great year this year. If they got off to a better start, he's right there in the MVP conversation with Cam. But he didn't. And Cam did. Cam did have a historic season. First person with 35 passing touchdowns, 10 rushing touchdowns. He's playing for a team that is now, 17-1 going into the Super Bowl. Russell Wilson never did that. That level of, playing where they need you every single week. If Cam Newton doesn't make plays, the Panthers lose. Russell Wilson on their Super Bowl run, they had, the benefit of Marshawn Lynch, Golden Tate, Doug Baldwin made some plays. Percy Harvin, in the 4 quarters he was healthy, made some plays. So he had playmakers, and there's nothing wrong with that. But to say that he could do what Cam did with this Panthers squad, I think is selling Cam short. So the argument is not really an argument. It's invalid. They're both BQBX. Who you would take is your preference. You're not going to go wrong with either one of these guys. I've said before, though, Cam is the one that I feel like I relate to more. I like him more. I never said he was better. I never said he was better than anybody. But he's BQBX. He is the MVP of this season. And I am hopeful, very hopeful in a couple weeks I can call him the Super Bowl MVP. All right, and before I close this out, I had to, of course, go back and check to see if there was any updates in our Kanye situation. Of course it is. Why wouldn't there be? So Kanye had tweeted that he's taken these down, deleted the tweets because he said it's about positive energy, blessings and positive energy. The devil can't stop us. I'm in the lab with Ian Connor, by the way. Man, it's a sad day. Wiz lost 2 million followers since I tweeted. I didn't mean to either him like that. And he typed either, like either or, not ether. So he said, I'm happy that I now know that KK means weed. Please excuse the confusion. Now back to waves. That's cool. But I also checked. I got a notification. Somebody told me that Amber Rose had logged on. So Amber Rose came like guns blazing. Amber Rose says, and I quote, "Aw, at Kanye West, are you mad I'm not around to play in your asshole anymore? Hashtag fingers in the booty ass bitch." The next tweet says, LOL, at Kanye West. Now you want to delete your tweets because mother has arrived. Hashtag Twitter fingers. Hashtag you're getting bodied by a stripper ass nigga. I got nothing, guys. I got nothing. Like we just gonna go out on that because like it's very foul for her to say, you know, whatever did or did not happen in between their sexual life or whatever. But he brought up her son. So it's all off limits. I don't have the answers, guys. I don't have the answers. Like there, you know, as has been pointed out, there's a level of homophobia to what she said, you know, and you know what she said, the way she said it, and the way that she knew it would be received. So, you know, that's whack. And I don't know. I just don't know, because he brought up her son, so it's all bets are off. But I got nothing, man. I'm calling it a show. I don't know how I could follow that up. So I haven't forgot about the thing I asked you last week. Last week I'd asked you to send me the things you've learned about people from Twitter. And with this epic week in Twitter, I feel like that's a great opportunity for you to send something in if you haven't already. Like I got plenty great ones in. I was going to read today, but extenuating circumstances. We had Twitter beef in a major way happen, so I will get to those next week. So still send those in, trillwitherspodcast@gmail.com. Let me know what you've learned about people from Twitter. All right, and with that said, guys, that brings show number 66 to a conclusion. As always, thank you so much for rocking with me these first 66 shows. You know where to find me by now. If you go to SoundCloud, Stitcher, as well as iTunes, search for Trill Withers, the show will come up. Do me a favor, go ahead and subscribe there so that the show will come to you every week. If you listen to it on iTunes, when you search Trill Withers, click reviews, drop me a 5-star review. Got the email address set up. Again, send me what have you learned about people on Twitter this week. That's trillwitherspodcast@gmail.com. And I've got the website up and running, as you know. That's lookingupfromthefloor.wordpress.com. Again, lookingupfromthefloor.wordpress.com. As always, guys, thanks so much for the support, and stay righteous.